Okay, enough of that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar. And they used to call me on the phone back in the old call-in show days. They'd ask me questions. They say, "Hey, man, what's your show about?" I say, "Oh, it's about an hour. About guitar players, guitar playing, all things guitaristic." So, people ask me questions. They used to call me up and ask me questions, but the kind of questions we'd entertain would be stuff like care and feeding your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you, how to play the guitar, related topics like the guitarrón, the sitar, the guitarra, chitoles, lutes, uds, vihuelas, banjos, balicas, bazookies, bajos, sextos, bandurias, tiples, cavaquinhos, you know.
Alpenhorns, bagpipes, and concertinas.
There we go. Trombones and trombamarinas.
Dulcimers, dobros, and didgeridoos.
There you go. Pipe organs, piccolos, harmoniums, harpsichords, and harmonicas.
Xylophones and zithers.
There we go. Yeah, yeah. You know, my brother used to make actually plastic flutes that actually sounded really good, Renaissance flutes. And the guy I worked with, he was just a kid. The older guy who worked with, who was a flute and a Renaissance music nerd. Aardvark Flute Works, because they'd be #1 in flutes in the Yellow Pages. I see. Anyway, stuff like that. We could talk about. Like I want to think of the cavaquinos, I said ukuleles and banjolins and mandocellos and all the other kind of like hybrid things, you know. But Hammond B3 organs, Hammond C2s or C3s, yeah.
Irish harps, pixie harps, and Jews harps.
There we go. What else we got? Yeah, accordions and ocarinas. I might have said that one already. Take a piece of tissue paper and put it over your comb. That's a kazoo. When you need a musical instrument in a hurry. So,
have a comb in your pocket.
That's right. I don't use one, but I don't have enough hair. Cut it, buzz it off. Okay, so anyway, that's it. We talk about politics, world events, people's personality problems, whatever it is, but we keep it clean here. It's a family show. All right. So I've got this big show I've been planning on doing for a while with electric guitars and tube amps. But we're not going to do it this week. So I was telling Bob that I decided which guitar to bring by going down to the case room in my basement, see which case presented itself first, and it was this one. So this thing's a little dusty. I should wipe it up. Okay, this is a Breedlove auditorium model, all made in Oregon, Bend, Oregon, out of mahogany. And I wouldn't say this is a good guitar. I would say this is a great guitar. And I don't like this guitar. I love this guitar. So anyway, that's my story.
Okay.
It's nice. Look at that. What do you think? Huh?
Looks good.
Yeah, pretty, isn't it? Huh? Nice wood and everything.
Yep.
Look, it matches all the way over. See?
All right.
Made in Bend, Oregon, USA, by genuine hippies. Old hippies. That's the best kind.
Recycled hippies?
Recycled hippies, yeah. So anyway, I have a bunch of gigs coming up. I just got my nails done. I didn't have a chance to buff them at all, but I go in there and the nail salon, you know, I'm the only guy in there. I put out a plug. I go to V's Nails on downtown Iowa City, right there on Clinton Street, across from the university there in Pentecrest. So sorry, but it's always kind of funny. You walk in there, you know, and there's different people. This time there were actually a bunch of young women who had it all together, you know, and they were having their nails done and stuff like that. And I go in there and sit down, and I'm, you know, I told the guys at Ewers I had to wait a little while, you know, because so I went down to Ewers Men's Store. Bothered the guys. They're like the owner or whatever. He's like my age. I think he went to West High, went to City High. So we're talking about that, and he said, you know, probably thought I was some sort of a creeper, you know. So I used to go make sure I may explain to everybody that I'm getting them for playing guitar, and people would look at me funny, but now I don't even care anymore, you know. So there's some guy who doesn't look like he takes really good care of his appearance. Me, only getting one hand done, the right hand. So I use them for picks, and of course the left hand I have, very short nails, and they're kind of squared off because there's a really thick callus on the end of them. So Anyway, that's my. I have 5 gigs coming up, rapid succession. Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Tuscan Moon. I've got a Saturday afternoon gig. Sorry. Makes me tired just thinking of it. At the Art Van Furniture Store in Coralville. It's a beautiful downtown Coralville, but actually it's on the...
On the strip?
well, no, it's past that. It's on the Highway 6 on the way to... on the edge of town on the way out
beyond
to...
Coralville?
It's Coralville, I believe, but it's on the way to Tiffin or whatever. It's across from that Tyson's, store, which I guess is the place to go to buy your overalls now that Paul's Discount is closed.
Oh, they still got Farm and Fleet over here, don't they?
Yeah, that's Orchlands, I think. Isn't it? It used to be Farm Fleet, long time ago.
I see.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it'd be a good place to go, but yeah. Somebody's telling me they're expensive, but I know these connoisseurs of overalls. And I got to tell you, I should be playing guitar, but so there was a Black Friday sale on web domain names, and Laura, my boss at home, she bought a couple. But one thing we've been talking about for a long time, and if you ever look at any pictures of me on my website, I'm often wearing like a pair of somewhat faded big overalls, the blue pinstripe ones, and maybe wingtips, crisp shirt, and fedora. Or I can go for the full Schnickelfritz, what I call it. The George Schnickelfritz character was like a plaid hat, plaid shirt, and big stompy boots and overalls. Looks like people up in Iowa are supposed to look. But I've been working on this concept for a long time, just in the way I teach and everything, and the things I give people. And I've been, people keep trying to get me to write a book. But I have this concept of overall guitar. And this is not necessarily a guitar where you wear overalls. And by the way, I toyed with the idea of wearing overalls in this program tonight. But if you know basically what classical guitarists know about reading music and about arranging music with the way the written on the page, because guitar is just treble clef notes like the flute or something like that. Except that we play chords and we have directions as stems of notes point, make different things. There are like letters and symbols that other people don't use because you can't strum a flute. I mean, you can, but it won't do any good, right? So we have the peculiar thing. So if you understand, how to analyze complicated music, how to arrange it for a guitar, and the technique of classical guitar, finger picking. So that's one. And then if you understand improvisation and like chord theory and kind of like you're composing on the fly, like a jazz guitar player does. And if you know how to blend in and get along with people like a folk guitar player does, then that's basically overall guitar. And there are other like folk traditions and stuff you could throw in there, blues and bluegrass and stuff, but they kind of go into the folk category. So that's my concept of overall guitar. So of course, if I were going to go and do a TED talk or a lecture or somewhere, it would behoove me to show up with overalls. And I kind of like wearing the overalls because. I mean, if you had this experience, but there you are in like New York or San Francisco or someplace. You find out you're from Iowa. They think, immediately, they got chickens in the front yard and you keep the hogs out back. Whereas, that's my thing. I always got a kick out of that. But the one thing that they were like...
I'm from Illinois, and I had a lot of cousins that had chickens out back.
I guess, but not out front, huh?
No.
Okay, yeah. Well, I guess you probably did. In Illinois, it's like the same thing, sort of.
Yeah, downstate Illinois is not that much difference from Iowa.
Yeah, I suppose.
Chicago is the difference between Illinois and Iowa.
Yeah, I guess.
Or Cook County, I guess.
Well, I don't think I know anybody who has chickens, in the front yard or anything like that. I know a lot of farmers, but they've got like thousands of acres of corn and beans and thousands of head of hogs.
It's not like the olden days, but...
Yeah, ma-pa kettle type of a thing.
Yeah, 80 acres and some chickens and a couple hogs.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's all different. All those farmers are gone. They either got...
Well, not all of them. The Amishmen still do it. Some of them do it that way.
Yeah. Well, I think they probably have chickens out back or up front or whatever.
Instead of equipment, they got 10 kids.
Yeah, right.
Out there hoeing the weeds.
Well, they don't... the Amish don't come to eat at Tuscan Moon. Sometimes you get Mennonites in there. But
Yeah.
they have a wine cellar, so it's like, that makes Kelowna into Sin City, so. Warren is the owner of the restaurant, one of the owners is, he's from Kelowna originally, but he tells people he's a recovering Mennonite. So he's been recovering for the last 40 years or something like that, he says. So anyway, he built the wine cellar. Anyway, so I mean, the thing is, like last time I was in New York, this is I think it's a funny story. My parents both taught French. My father was actually the chairman of the Department of Romance Languages and basically a professor of French and other things. And we lived in France on and off as a kid, and we had French people come over to the house. And I went to high school and grade school in France. So j'ai parlé français toute ma vie. I've been speaking French. You know, it's not that. It's normal in my family. We all had learned French when we were kids. So and I'm not sure how fluent I am anymore, but I can talk and I can read. So years ago, like 25 years ago, I guess, I was in a restaurant in New York City with a bunch of theater people I was working with, and I was a composer and a musician for a play, doing all the incidental music and all these things. I had like all these music cues I had to do, and I wrote the music, and it was a gig. So I'm there, and we're workshopping it off Broadway, basically. So in an old theater somewhere, and we're doing stage readings. We're working through it with a bunch of Broadway professionals, and then they say, "Well, let's all go out to dinner. Let's go to this restaurant so we can see people and be seen." They said, "Okay," and the menu was in French. And they were trying to decipher this.
Right up your alley.
Right. And so they've been giving me a hard time talking about Midnight Cowboy and so forth. Actually, one guy asked me if I'd ever been to a big city before. I said, well, I was in Paris a couple of years ago. And he just trying to shut him down. Yeah. Paris, Texas, Paris, Iowa, what was he talking about? So then the menu was in French. And this doesn't bother me. I mean, like I know my animals. Poulet is chicken, and canard is duck, and bœuf, vache, chèvre is actually goat, so, and du lait is milk, so chèvre would be goat milk, but it would be, the grammar would be different, but, I always thought that was a good joke when I was a kid. Chèvre, that's goat milk. Yeah, chèvre, anyway. So I translated the menu for him, and this really messed him up, because they were, I was not fulfilling my obligation of being the hick.
And what do they call the horse meat?
I don't know. Cheval is a horse, but viande de cheval. I don't know. Meat of horse. I don't know. I'm not sure if I ever ate a horse meat knowingly, but
well, apparently they do a lot in Europe. One of the students who worked for me one year did a semester overseas and came back and was saying that when they got the horse meat, they didn't tell the Americans what that was.
I see. Yeah, I guess. Well, you go the other direction, or farther east, I guess you could say, that eat dogs and all kinds of things.
Yeah. The Vietnamese cookbook, 101 Ways to Walk Your Dog.
Yeah. Oh boy. If anybody's watching, they might write in about that, but I don't know. Anyway.
Well, we'll find out somebody's out there.
Yeah. We'll be as offensive as we want. We're not going live on the TV right now, so.
We can offend the Amish. We know they're not watching.
That's right. But some of them might be. Well, they wouldn't have the cable though, would they? What about the kid who had the stereo and everything, and he had a car, and he had to plug the power adapter, into his car, running out back, and went through his window of his Amish bedroom, and he was listening to hip hop or something on a boombox or something, but they wouldn't have the cable TV, so. You can watch a stream on your phone. Oh, that chord, the Widowmaker. Actually, that's not the. This is the Widowmaker.
It being the last Tuesday of the month, I brought a few comments in.
Oh, well, good for you. I'm glad of that. Wow, this is the last Tuesday.
Your chord brought that to mind because, it's cold out, Tom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it is. Yeah.
Ask me how
cold is it?
UN inspectors decide to look for weapons in Hawaii.
Ah.
I chipped a tooth on my soup. Starbucks is selling coffee on a stick. And we chopped up the piano for firewood and only got a cord. The best part of winter is watching it on TV from Florida.
That's right.
The difference between an iceberg and a clothes brush is one brushes coats and the other crushes boats.
Yeah.
A seal swam into a concrete wall and said, "Damn."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is a party for snowmen a snowball?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is a snowman on rollerblades a snowmobile?
Yeah.
Do Eskimos keep their money in a snowbank?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Do Eskimos stick their houses together with igloo?
Igloo. Ah. Oh boy. That's enough.
Isn't that enough? Yeah.
You only need enough damage for one Tuesday, for 1 month, I guess. Yeah. I'm anticipating changing the format of this show, maybe for the first of the year or whatever, to a bunch of short vignettes. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to be with the cable TV as opposed to the YouTube and the live stream, but in preparation, though, I have a thick sheaf of musician jokes. And, yeah, so there's the jokes, I don't think they're really appropriate for this show, but I don't think the kids are really like, what do clarinet players use for birth control? Their personalities, things like that,
Yeah.
How many sopranos does it take to screw in a light bulb? Only one. She holds the bulb and the world revolves around her. Soprano jokes are, some of them I can never tell in this yeah, maybe, I might tell you later, I don't know, after we're, I don't know, but there's one.
Yeah, there's the one you wonder if you could clean it up enough about the difference between a bull and an orchestra.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. A bull and a conductor. Yeah, a bull and an orchestra, yeah. And the bull, the horns are up front, and never mind. Yeah. That's in there, by the way, but yeah. So, I might run out of material eventually. Man.
I was looking those up for a while, and an awful lot of them get repeated for different kinds of musicians.
That's true, yeah.
Because all the musicians tell the same jokes about the other musicians.
I think so, but there are specific ones, like viola player jokes. The joke of the viola players is they're supposed to be the least talented musicians. So they're ones, or they're dumb, or they don't have to play very many notes, or they,
Or nobody pays any attention to them.
or nobody pays attention to them, stuff like that, They're like low on the totem pole in the orchestra joke. Kind of like Belgian jokes in Europe, The Belgians are the butt of the jokes, when they...
Which reminds me about this winter.
Mm-hmm.
The Bohemian wore a boot to town because he heard there was 50% chance of snow.
Ah, they only wore one boot?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. There's a whole class of jokes about half-off sales, but the only one we ever used in this program was years ago, West Music had a Martin guitar, steel string guitar, sawed down the middle. So it was half a guitar.
Yeah.
And so we did what I consider a humorous video. And this is just, for people to see what the inside of the guitar looked like, the bracing structures and so forth, that they're very proud of. And so they invented the X brace as opposed to the fan brace. Anyway, the bracing inside the guitar is very important. To keep it from collapsing, but also to distribute the tone. So anyway, so we had this one. I played the full George Schnickelfritz character. So I had all the plaid and the overalls. And and I had this big old blue Chevy cargo van that I used to drive around, and so he's he's the George Schnickelfritz character that I'm playing. He's like he runs kind of funny, like if he runs, his arms go along the same direction as his legs instead of opposing it, so you look really silly that way. kind of stiff-legged. So anyway, this time he's running up to his van with his guitar, and he kind of trips over his shoelace. Of course, he's wearing high-top sneakers, and leans the guitar up against the back of the van to tie his shoe. So he ties his shoe, and then he gets in the van. Gets into, because he forgets. He leaned up the guitar against the back of the van. So we could only do this once, of course. So we had to film. In fact, I might have done it all by myself. I might have set up the camera and everything and edited it down later, I think. But so he gets in the thing and he's like, he's starting it up and he's like, and then he backs out. And of course, the guitar falls over and gets run over and goes crunch. And it crunched real good. See, this is a guitar, the neck was a little bit off. I had another guitar that looks exactly like it that was actually playable. But this is one that, was never going to play because it was a cheap guitar. It was a cheap copy of a Martin, the D18, which a lot of them were. But the neck was like bent backwards and it was never going to be straightened out. So, it wasn't worth trying to fix. So I flattened it. And then he goes back and, he realizes a mistake, goes back, he picks it up and he's like, I guess. So he goes over to West Music Company in Coralville. And the guy who was the manager of the guitar department, he goes in on this, and he had he had curly hair and it kind of stuck out, kind of like the blowout hairdo. He was of European extraction, but he had curly hair. So he grabs his hair like this when he sees it. Guy brings it in a bag, and lays it out on the counter. What can you do? And so he shows him this hollow body electric guitar they had with kind of gold, hardware on it. So he brings up a price tag, which looks like $1,000, and then he folds it out. It's $1 million, you see. And then he holds up that Martin guitar. This is all done to Sonic movie. Actually done to a banjo, like a goofy banjo soundtrack. So he holds up the half Martin and he holds up a sign that says half price or half off or something like that. And then eventually the character goes to Goodwill and buys another cheap guitar. And then you see him in the rocking chair, like, happy again. But anyway, that was the half off price. And I don't know, the guy, Merrill Birchmeyer, if anybody's watching, they might remember Merrill Birchmeyer. He used to work at West Music for many years. He was my boss when I worked there many years ago. I was one of the guitar guys, which you can assume. But anyway.
Well, you could have been one of the mandolin guys.
I was the mandolin guy, actually. I probably sold one or two in the whole time I was there. But yeah, because a guy like me is nerdy enough. I can be really boring. Like I'm being really boring right now. But in a guitar shop or music store, I would know a lot about the mandolins and the banjos and ukuleles and the other like ethnic instruments.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know as much about the pointy heavy metal, death metal guitars. Because I say, well, it's junk. If you want it, you go ahead. But and good luck with the Floyd. Floyd Rose is this thing to keep it from going out of tune if you use a whammy bar too much. But it makes your life miserable for a lot of reasons. And but I know about all these other things, you see. And, if you get a guy like me at a party, I get you kind of cornered and fix you with my glittering eye like the ancient mariner and tell you...
Bore you to death.
Yeah, you might... Anyway, yeah. Anyway, half off, yeah.
Yes, another non-family friendly joke that we
there's a
shouldn't do.
Yeah, half off. And there's also similar to about somebody who was in a relationship, but she broke it off. Yeah. So, anyway.
Yeah.
That must have hurt. Anyway.
Yeah, that one's probably not all that family friendly.
Nah, it's not family friendly either. Yeah. The one about the woman who gets it used to be the fuzz was a slang term for the police.
Yeah.
So
back like in the 60s.
Yeah. So she gets picked up by the fuzz. Anyway, I'm in trouble. Yeah. I'm glad that there's probably nobody's watching, so it's always a safe part of the show.
Well, if we're not on the TV,
well,
somebody will look at it on the internet, though.
YouTube, yeah. It might be live stream too. I know some people watch it. I've had people tell me they go looking for the show and it's not there. we had this discussion about the Channel 18 and the whole works with that. And the thing about my show is I think it appeals to like older fellas. I see. This is a show for older fellas, and I don't know if everybody's noticed, but you and I were kind of like
Older fellas?
Yeah, older fellas. Yeah. So I'm, you know, when I started making public access 30 years ago. It's actually 1987, I think. I got my first started taking workshops, and I got my card saying I was a full-fledged producer in 1988, before it was even PATV. I remember that because I was, they had the campaign, presidential campaign, the caucuses and everything. And Jerry Brown, who is or has been the governor of California, was running for president in '88.
I think he still is, but he's outgoing.
Is he a term limits or something, or?
Just somebody else got elected. That might have been term limits, I don't know. But,
Yeah.
you know, when Trump was just out there over the fires,
Yeah.
Governor Brown and either the current governor or incoming governor, like I said, I'm not sure if Brown is gone or going, but the new guy was there too.
Wonder what they thought of Trump. I don't want to know. But anyway, he was campaigning for president, and they had this platform for the press, and the press people. They had the CBS, NBC, and the ABC, you know, affiliate camera guys with it was a beta cam, those big cameras like this, and I was up there with my VHS camcorder.
Yeah.
It had PATV and those stick-on letters you could get at the hardware store. The kind of slanted ones, but they weren't slanted, you know, properly. And I was up there with the big boys, you know.
Yeah, I did a whole bunch of that in '08.
Yeah.
It's on my YouTube. You know, most of them are on my YouTube channel still.
Really?
But yeah, I'd be up there plugged into the
Yeah, I plugged into the thing.
sound thing.
Yeah. Huh.
We weren't SVH yet. We'd gone to mini DV by then. But,
And this is '08.
yeah, '08.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I was 88, so I was 20 years ahead of you. But yeah, I plugged into the thing, and yeah, we were VHS.
Then I did John Edwards and Fred Thompson, and Mitt Romney, Joe Biden. A couple of Jean Lloyd Jones was still pretty active then. She got the Obamas. But you know, they all come through Hamburg Inn #2.
That's right.
Mitt Romney was over at the med school. We got him over there. And Fred Thompson was at the IMU, I think.
I saw Obama downtown. I think that was after that was when he'd won the nomination, but before, during their campaign. So he was there at the Ped Mall, and he made a pretty good speech, and everybody seemed to like him. So in hindsight, a lot of people still like him.
Yeah.
For some reason, they miss him.
Yeah. Joe Biden was the friendly guy, and he got talking, and his handlers kept trying to drag him away. He said, you know,
Oh yeah.
Claire, can't think what her last name is right off, but she used to do a lot of those with me. She had the microphone up there, and Joe says, "I'll take care of that for you." So he took her microphone, you know, did the rest into SCTV's microphone.
Ah.
I suppose some of the people in Hamburg Inn wondered why they weren't hearing it amplified, but
Oh, I see. Yeah,
because
there
it
you
wasn't
go.
going into an amplifier, it was going into my camera.
That's yeah.
But he stayed and talked for quite a little bit. Sat on the bench out in front of the place, and told us about his family vacations and stuff. Like I said, the handlers kept trying to drag him off.
Well, he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
My wife really is in favor of him. I know. I like him. Okay.
Friendly anyway.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, Chris Dodd, he was the first one. The fireman endorsed Chris Dodd. So he had a meeting over at the fire station by that building the driver's license bureau's in. There's a fire station across the street from that. And they had a meeting in there with all the firemen come out to endorse him.
Oh yeah, the driver.
He was the first one to hit town. Actually, he never left Iowa after '04. He rented a house down in Des Moines and set up shop in Iowa in '04 and stayed.
Really? Well, it's like living the good life.
Yeah. He's the one who told us, I'm the only candidate that gets mail from AARP and diaper services. Because he had a young wife and baby.
There you go. Well, yeah. Scobie had an indecently young wife, you know.
Fred Thompson and who's the little guy had hot young wives too.
Oh yeah, the guy from Ohio, Kucinich.
Yeah, Kucinich.
Yeah. Well, stick with the wife I got. I think it'd be too expensive otherwise. Don't you think it'd be expensive for a guy like me? Give her half my guitars, and maybe she could have the cat.
Yeah. If I broke up with my wife, that'd be part of the deal. You have to take the cats.
Well, you get one, wouldn't you?
Not if I can help it.
Well, I like the little animal. It's just that, it's time for love, you know. There's actually a joke I was thinking. I was going to tell my family. I had 2 Thanksgiving dinners. I'm almost recovered last week, but the one I had with my father and my brother and sister and their people they're married to and some other people who were around. But before we left, I was listening to a blues guitarist, a singer, Samantha Fish. She's Oklahoma or Kansas or something. Kansas, I think, but she's in Texas. And she has a signature guitar. I'm not sure if I like her singing that much, but she's a really good kind of blues guitar player, very fast and adept. And she has her own signature guitar from some small company, which is how I found her. So I watched a video of her playing, and she was singing, "I Put a Spell on You, Baby." And then the cat, runs up into my lap, starts rubbing her chin really hard against my chin here. So I think,
put a spell on the cat, huh?
No, I put a smell on you, baby. So they're trying to give it a sound right. I put a smell on you, baby. So I was going to tell them that, So I forgot when I got to this dinner thing. So I went to Tuscan Moon for the Tuscan Moon family and friends, staff, and whatever Thanksgiving dinner. And when I got there, there was a cockapoo, half cocker spaniel and half poodle, kind of an apricot-looking dog. Nice dog. But that dog took one look at me, runs up there, and starts licking my chin, and then runs away. I think, that guy needs licking. I think there's something about that. Anyway, maybe it was the cat smell.
Female cats, when they climb up on you and prod you with their paws, that's what they're doing, is marking ownership. They got some kind of scent on their paws.
Oh, really?
Whereas the male cats take a whiz on things to mark ownership.
Well, I prefer the female one, but well, the cat I live with. I mean, she's not my cat. I'm her monkey, big monkey, But she will get up on me sometimes, and then she'll start doing that kneading, and then she'll get all dreamy, and she'll go like this, a little bit of claw involved, and not just enough to make it uncomfortable. And she'll do this, and it's getting as she gets older, her love for me grows. You see, and the thing is, it becomes oppressive. And there are a lot of songs about feelings. You can just change it to felines and change a few words, and you get the idea. I've been up, down, trying to get that feline again. But she, she's like, and then the thing was, so she'll run up in my lap, and she'll grab my arm like this, and start licking me, And after she's done that for a while, she'll just bite me. Not really hard, but And then I give her the heave-ho, and then she comes back, and she's, But see, we have to spend so much time every day doing this. There are other things I would do. I mean, like in restraining guitars, the only really sufficient cat repellent I have is playing electric guitar. She hates that. So it doesn't matter if it's jazz or rock or whatever. Electric guitar, she just runs away. There you go. But her love is getting oppressive, and she's 13 now. So I don't know. It's like, when she was little, she didn't even care about humans. She liked the other cat, Torben. he was her role model, love of her life. She thought Torben was her mom because she's just a baby and he was already all grown up bachelor cat. So, but then she started observing Torben and the things he does, and he did. I mean, he's no longer with us, but and then topping them. So one thing was he always wanted to get in my lap. So she would see this, and then she would get in my lap, and then kind of like get in there and make him uncomfortable, and he'd get fed up and leave. And so she'd take over, and then she's in my lap for a while and say, yeah, it's okay, and she'd leave, you see. So it's just like these things, you know. Drinking out of the faucet. He liked to drink out of the trickle of the faucet. He'd drink that in the bathroom sink. She'd get up there, and the trickle on for her, she'd be like lapping, but she'd be about that far away from the stream of water, so she wouldn't, yeah.
My wife's little cat likes to drink out of the toilet.
Ah, that's why you keep the seat down all the time.
Yeah.
The ladies, you know, they used to always give you a hard time if you left the seat up, you know.
Yeah.
But I leave both seats down because that way the cat won't drink.
Yeah, leave the lid down.
Yeah. Keep and that way you don't have to worry about any kind of like sexist stuff.
There's some cat on YouTube that does that and flushes the toilet.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, they do all kinds of things. Just watch your YouTube. You start watching cat videos and it goes on.
Yeah, you can spend a long time watching cat videos on YouTube.
Right. Yeah. I had a student who had a cat or two at home, and she was friends with our cat, but she was aware of this one YouTube channel where the guy would speak French. He had an American accent, but he was doing a voiceover for the cat, you know, and so he would say it all in French, and there'd be subtitles, you know, because the other cat, the white cat, was an imbecile. I said, this is a cat who looked kind of stuffy and proper, and the other cat was just silly, you know. He said, I'm forced to live with this imbecile, you know. There's another one about the cat. There's a voiceover talking about how, you know, all the different, like how, you know, there's only, my bowl is half empty. I'm going to starve to death and stuff like that. Or I spent all day like looking at this one little spot, like I thought it was a bug. Turned out to be just a nail on the wall, you know, and I wasted my whole day staring at it and things like that, you know. Now those are the popular channels. I don't know about Tom's Guitar Show, you know.
Well, you know, Keyboard Cat's big. You should work on Guitar Cat.
Yeah. There's a video I saw of a dachshund, a wiener dog, who was had an electronic keyboard. And the dog would go, bing, 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 oh, raw, raw, ding, 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 oh, raw, raw. You know, like play these notes and then sing along with it.
Oh, you've seen Keyboard Cat, have you?
I think so.
It's fake.
Yeah.
You know, they got, must be sticks in his shirt. The cat's wearing a shirt, and they got something that to look like arms, so it looks like the cat's playing the keyboard.
Right, yeah. I've seen that one, yeah. Everybody's seen that one.
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know. It's a great guitar. I should just play it. I'm stuck next to a Christmas tree, you know, for a month. I'll be Tuscan Moon. Still 3 nights a week. They haven't. Last couple of Thursdays well, last week was Thanksgiving, and the week before that was our annual meeting. So PATV. So I canceled those two gigs, but I guess I'm back on Thursday again this week. So
Getting good crowds.
yeah, it comes and goes. There are interesting new people there. Saturday night there's a whole big long table, and they just didn't look like they were. I think they're from New York or someplace. I didn't know where they were from, but it turns out the father is from Spain and the mother is from Germany, and the kids are all grown up. I mean, they're all adults. And one guy there appeared to be with his wife, and his sons, and but I guess they live in Solon.
Oh.
So the one guy, he has a barber shop in Moline or someplace, Rock Island, Illinois. But yeah, they were like, I mean, I was there with my Spanish guitar, you know.
We're just getting time now. You'd probably be getting Christmas parties in there.
Yeah, I mean, people are having their Christmas parties, and the company parties are going to happen all the way through like January. So there's always New Year's and all that stuff to worry about, but you know, I'm doing my Christmas thing. So you know, like. Oh, little town of Coralville. I guess I would ruin it for everybody, wouldn't it? Yeah. I got a gig on Monday at the Zion Lutheran Church for Love Lights for Mercy Hospital. And this is basically, I think, aimed toward people who may have lost a loved one in the last year. And so it's like a ecumenical, fairly non-religious service of remembrance. And I got roped into that a few years ago. I think they tried other kinds of musicians, but then I came in with a guitar like this, and I didn't say anything, which helps to see. And then I would play the soulful thing, and then I would do the. So they've asked me back again and again. So I'm doing this one, and I'm also doing Briarwood You know, I don't know what you call Briarwood. It's a place where Phil went.
Oh,
Spent his last.
assisted living or something?
It's like everything from like a rehabilitation thing to a nursing home, kind of, and hospice and everything. I think it's a nice one though. It's one of the nicest ones. I think if I were gonna go somewhere, I'd go there. But I've been doing that every year now for a while.
Yeah, they always say, be good to your kids, they pick your nursing home.
That's right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, it was pretty nice to my kids. So yeah, I was living in Texas. We'll see if he remembers me.
Yeah.
Who? Hey, man, I taught you how to eat with a spoon. Yeah, what have you done for me lately? Well, he's got a good job, you know. I might have to hit him up for money.
I thought he had a business in Coralville.
Or no, actually, it's down at Merge. No, he gave that up. He got a job at Raytheon in Texas. So he's an engineer. He's working on radars stuff. It's a defense company, but he's working on defensive, stuff, technology, radar, so you can detect things coming at you. But it's a good job, I guess. Advancement. And, he's an engineer, so that's who he is. Also, that sounded like fun when I was a kid, because as a kid I always had these ideas for inventions, What if you could just do this, But I didn't have any, I never progressed in mathematics to beyond the requirements. I mean, as a guitar player, I just have to count to 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, or 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, that's 6, 8 to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyway, so, but yeah, so he gets to live the dream. He gets to work on stuff. But I guess it's probably a lot harder to create the inventions that I had in my mind when I was a young fella. But so I think I'll stick with a guitar.
Well, you have an engineer in the family. Just tell him what you want to build.
Yeah. I should have probably done that when he still had his little company there, Mouth Source Systems or whatever at Merge. They had a little room down in the basement. They made money. They built things. They built stuff for NASA to put on space things, because the university works with NASA and they were understaffed, so they needed somebody to fabricate it. But since he and his partner both just graduated, from that department that does that, and he'd worked for NASA before, through the university, so he build these things. So they sent a guy over from NASA to make sure they solder things the way they want them, because the NASA soldering, because the thing is, once you shoot it up, you can't bring it back and fix it.
Well, any electrical stuff. I worked for a company for a while that made electrical controls mostly for engine generator sets, and all the Minuteman missile silos had one in them, and we had 2 government men full time around there inspecting everything. And I mean, they really got nitpicky.
Yeah. Well, you'd hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, if the thing
you
actually...
don't want a Minuteman missile landing in the wrong place. But.
That's right. No, you wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want one landing any place, but no place around here for sure. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah, the company I worked for, on the first contract of those, we almost went broke. Because we did stuff for Cummins and Caterpillar and Detroit Diesel. Hey, if it worked, they were fine with it. But that government contract, they just about busted us on the first contract. So the guys that wrote them up wrote them a lot higher priced after that.
I see, yeah. I get you. Well.
Caterpillar was like that. At the time, D8 was one of the bigger bulldozers. And a government D8 cost almost twice what a civilian D8 did. Because the government was, everything had to be government spec.
I see, yeah. Well, I think they overcharge for things anyway.
Well, I'm sure they do. But trying to please the government can be expensive.
I guess so. A lot of people make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like Trump's dad made a lot of money, but overcharging for Section 8 housing or whatever.
Yeah.
Ross Perot made a lot of money.
Yeah.
with government contracts. If you go to charge, you can get away with it. Probably about time for me to play this.
Tom's Guitar Show theme?
Yeah. Won't be the first time. I'll be back next week. I'll be at Tuscan Moon this weekend. I'll be at the Art Van Furniture Store in Coralville Saturday afternoon. It's a food drive. That's a charity thing they do once a year. Santa Claus will be there.